right, guys, tag up all your favorite YouTubers and TikTokers that are into three-wheelers. Because as far as we know, this has never been done yet. Of course, we did a full video on Davis Drive's YouTube channel while we took this in the pond, and you guys can watch and see what happened. But Suzuki always made a ALT 125 and 185 that said 3x6. We never really even understood, even though we had those, what a 3x6 was. They meant it was 3 wheels, 6 gears. Well, we took it literal and went the extra mile. 3x6. Actually taking this to an event this weekend to have it on display with one of the best ATV and ATC collections there is in the world. Pretty proud to be taking this out there, and there is a pond there, so we may even show the guys what kind of skill it has. But check out that 110. And I am going to leave this. When I did this bike, it was a really clean bike. It was actually one from the collection. It was the only one I had of this year. It was a running, driving, operating, very clean bike. So I pulled the fork off and saved it because I was going to put it back to normal. But I did yesterday buy another Honda 110 same year for the collection. So this one will stay 3x6 forever. Heck, maybe we'll make it 6x9. Well, it floats good enough for now. If I gain a little more weight, we might need 6x9. But check that thing out. Tag all you guys that are into three-wheelers and four-wheelers so they can check out this piece of greatness. All right, we came from across the road between the heat and the noise over there to come over here, and now Alvin started up the pressure washer. But I'm not gonna stop my guys. I got my ding and dent guy in there working, putting on some trim, fixing some dings on a square body. Got this square body lined up to get some stuff done. My main focus is getting a video done of this truck. I've been trying all day, but it is hot. The phone keeps overheating. The office has been busy, but Alvin's getting some stuff cleaned up, and I don't want to disturb him because he is out in the heat all day long in a sauna of a building. So we came over to get this done. But in the meantime, we had a video that's gone viral. I did a little video of the 9-wheel, 3-wheeler turned 9-wheeler. Is that a Tahoe?
Uh-huh.
It's James. Hold on. This JW? Hey, good. What is going on?
Look how skinny you got, man. What up, baby boy?
Buddy?
Get here,
What's happening?
Here, tip the tip,
What's
man.
happening? What's happening?
What's up, baby boy? How you doing? Good. How you doing? Doing good, man. Doing good.
Hey there.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
That thing. You see what I got there?
Sorry for the little break there, guys. One of my customers showed up that I've never met before, and actually have done more business with that customer than probably any customer ever. I say that only because we do have one customer my dad dealt with for many years in the construction field that we sold a lot of new and almost new trucks to. So they run probably close neck and neck. But anyway, back over here to this square body. We'll clip some things together. I want y'all to see the interaction with him. What an amazing, amazing guy. And we've been texting and talking for God knows how many years. Sold truck after truck, lifted truck after truck, equipment, sales, trailers. AJ's been to his house, ate dinner with him. My mom's been there. We just never met until just now, which is crazy to think. But 1980, square headlight, frame off restoration, Silverado truck. Now, I don't know exactly when the restoration was done, but it's a little bit of an older restoration, but it's been in the garage ever since. It has a error correct replacement radio with a equalizer. It has bucket seats, the big error correct floor mats, a super nice dash. Door panels are in great shape, lower panels, power windows, power door locks, and everything is spot on. Dual tanks. Both tanks have been replaced. Undercarriage is slick and smooth. You can even see on the rear differential the yoke. Everything is just perfect. Dual exhaust. Got the Chevelle style rear tips on it. Hitch, blazer bumper. Very smooth piece of trim here. And check out the metallic in the frickin' paint. This truck, this video, the pictures that Christian posted will do nothing for what this truck really looks like. Got the racetrack trim all the way around it. Weld true racing wheels, 14 wides, 33 Toyo MTs. Everything has been lubed, greased, adjusted. Look at these windows. You guys tell me last time you saw a square body window. We should have a square body window race. We should call people out. It's a real good idea. Because my Uncle David gets these things dialed in. Lubed, adjusted. And by the time you do that 3 or 4 times, most people's square body window has overheated and gone bad. We actually should have a race. Calling all square body people. AJ, is that video still going crazy?
Check on my phone.
Holy moly.
It was actually going crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
There's no way they're not gonna see this.
Wow. So I don't know which piece or part that I talked about. He's at the wrong building. It's inside over there. All right, there's my wrap man, Black Star Graphics and Wraps, coming to put a logo on the Any Level truck so we can go to an event this weekend. I was saying, did it get clipped out? Did we even put that in this video yet?
Which one?
About the video's going viral.
I remember you said you
Okay, all right. So let me get in the shade. So we put a video up about the 9-wheeler. Did we walk over to it? Okay. So we put a video out about the 9-wheeler a little while ago. We're gonna get back to this truck in just a second, I promise. Me and Daniel built that on a whim on a Saturday. He said, come up to the shop, bring all your crap. I said, okay. I'd already laid out what I wanted to do to it. So we built it, went straight home. I went straight to the pond, no holds bar. If it sunk, it sunk. It didn't sink, it floated until it didn't anymore. We had a casualty, we had a problem. He was out there in the sherp. It was fun. It was really fun. Let's get back away from the noise. Also got a Crew Cab 3+3, guys, and an OBS that just came in. And my dent guy's in there working on another one. So anyway, we posted it earlier and I just said, hey, okay. Got a customer literally asking about that truck right now, so remind me to text him when I get off the phone. I said, we built this 3-wheeler to a 9-wheeler. Tag all your people out there that are that you think this would be cool, because we know 3-wheelers are cool. So exactly what I thought was going to happen. Gavin, C-Boys. Oh yeah, it's still going. We're looking at the phone. Everybody getting tagged in the video. I watch all those guys. I'm not too proud to say it. I think the C-Boys are cool. They do fun stuff. The Gavin, awesome. Cletus McFarland's been tagged. Watch him religiously. Whistling Diesel. All the guys that you guys probably watch too. I think we're all in the same genre. It's really fun. I'm a huge supporter of those guys. I really am. I own multiple businesses and multiple companies, and I still support those guys because I think they're doing great. They're living their life, having a good time. Unfortunately, I have to be here in my office, so when we have fun, it's on an hour here and an hour there. If we decide to take all this and just shut it down like my guys would like to do and go YouTube crazy.
Overheat today. Trademark Hurley. I'm not wearing sleeveless stuff. I'm not wearing a tank top today. All right, you good.
All right, it's Friday, guys. This video is gonna be a little mixed up. Yesterday got a little out of hand in a lot of ways, and all good ways. Unfortunately, not unfortunately. Dave just showed up. We got a busy day for him over there in the shop. It's a cooler day, so that's great. We got trucks going out. We got trucks coming in. We got 2 classic cars sold. They've got to be prepped. A 54 Chevy and a 42 Ford. You guys might not even know we had those, but we also got the logo back on the Any Level truck. Loving it. You might see a little clip of Matt pulling up, getting ready to put that on. That worked out good. He also got some logos put on the 9-wheeler. Speaking of the 9-wheeler, the video that we talked about, I literally just walked around. It's sitting right over there. I put it out front yesterday because the trailer was here, and just gave a little quick talk about what was going on with it, what we came up with, how to build it. The off-road shop's amazing equipment that allowed us to build it in like 2 hours. But it's just a brain fart that I'd had for a long time. It went ridiculous. I woke up to over 500 comments this morning. I think it's several thousand. The red and white square body, which you guys will see later today, that is sold with its choppy cam. AJ caught a quick clip of that, and he actually didn't even send it to me. He sent it to a customer of mine, and then I got it from him, and I put that clip out there, and that also went crazy overnight. Hundreds of thousands of views on those two things. But the really neat part was the sharing of the 9-wheeler. I'm gonna go ahead and say, Gavin, Shred 180, you are the 3-wheeler king, because you were tagged 200 to 300 times. More than that. AJ says more than that. Probably 500 to 600 times. You were tagged in that video alone. The Sea-Boys, Whistling Diesel, Junkyard Wars, Cletus McFarland, all people which we faithfully watch.
Blake Wilkie too.
Yep.
Blake Wilkie.
So a lot of good names tagged that a couple of them I didn't even expect. But I knew Gavin was going to get tagged a lot, and he did a whole lot. So if you see this, feel free to come by. We're not stingy with our stuff at all, any of it. 3-wheelers, again, we can throw them up in the shop with the fab machines, and we can make that thing. I said 6x9, that won't work, the numbers aren't right, but we can make it 5x8, we can make it 7x10, and we could keep on going as crazy as you wanted to go. And we could have picked a different platform, because we've got several hundred to pick from, but we just picked that one because I had the parts to do it, and Daniel said, come now. And I literally threw everything in the truck, and I went to the shop, and 2 hours later, I drove it out of the shop, drove it in the trailer, and an hour later, I drove it in the pond. So I know that's what a lot of guys out there, these creators and other things, that's what they spend their whole days doing, is building this crazy stuff. I think that's why I watch it. Maybe one day we'll be doing that too. Right now we actually have to have regular jobs. We have to come to work, we have to get customers straight, we have to sell cars. But we do have an amazing platform, which my guys remind me of all the time, of toys, cars, rare vehicles, stuff that people have never even seen before. Some 1-off, 2-off, 3-off things. That's super duper rare. And I also have to give extreme credit, because we made it through this week. It has been a hot week here in Richmond, Virginia. It's been 100 degrees every day. All of my team survived. We were getting water on ice every day, taking a little extra breaks here and there to cool off. So all of my employees, all the team, thank y'all for everything that you do. Coming home in the evenings being exhausted, thanks to my family for understanding. Trista's been in the office, and she witnesses it a lot more than she did before. And Mom, traveling abroad, learning more things, getting more educated about the dealer association and other stuff. So that's been great. She'll come home with a wealth of knowledge, new rules, new laws, things that a lot of dealers will be way behind on, and they probably will get in trouble for not knowing. Thankfully, we will know, and we'll be doing things the right way. So we got an exciting day today. We're going to capture a lot of it. Some of this might be from yesterday, some of this will be from today. AJ's going to clip it together, and we got a lot of fun stuff. Keep on watching. All right, I've positioned Alvin over here because it's actually a little bit cooler in this building, because there's actually mini splits, and obviously this building stays pretty full. So Alvin will have a cooler day to work today, and we move the trailer. But one thing you have with these old 40-year-old items is we came in and this building was stinking. Unfortunately, the fuel gets past the drain valve. The petcocks don't stop. Yeah, she's still steady leaking.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Okay, I wasn't strong enough.
So that's the problem you have. So when we put these away, and guys, if you're just watching for the first time and you come from one of those viral videos, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a new subscriber. Thanks for paying attention to some of the craziness we do. These are not necessarily bought to sell. Some of them will be. Some of them, like these yellow 200s, I think I have 12 of the exact same bike. I'm going to pick out a rider, and I'm going to pick out the most minty nice one that I have. The minty nice one will go on a second level display around all of our showrooms, including this showroom. Those beams right there are going to look like they have 3-wheelers climbing up them. The buildings over there, across the street, next door, all of them are going to have a second level metal floating shelf system. So these things will all be on display for two reasons. One, I want to have them for future in life, and what better way than to let people be able to see them. But two, they won't take up any extra space. And when we're doing our videos, the backdrop will be these cool vehicles, which I cannot wait to do. Now these smaller ones are much easier to do. In fact, we're getting ready to have a problem right here. This gets tangled up. Better tie that up real quick. We'll do something with that in a minute. So, no different than square bodies. We go into square body building, there's drips on the floor. Sometimes it's gas, sometimes it's transmission fluid, sometimes it's transfer case fluid. Those vehicles as well. They're all 40 and 50-year-old units. But it also brings us back to one more thing. They're also all 40 and 50-year-old people. Our demographic is 90% 40 and 50-year-old buyers. Some 60, some 70, some 80, some 20, some 16. But the demographic is basically what was new when you were a kid. AJ's generation, Alvin's generation, everybody liked something different. Most of it was whatever was brand new when you were a kid, and you were like, dang, I dreamed to have one of those. It might be what your grandfather had, it might be what your dad had, it might be what your uncle had. It's whatever you had a memory with. And that's what's really cool about these. And I cannot believe I've had ATVs and ATCs since '84. I still have our first one over there. Our actual first one from '84 is still over there. But not like this, not out of hand like all the buildings and all the shops and everywhere now currently is full of these things. But each one of them brings back a memory. Oh, I remember my cousin had one, or my uncle had one, or my next door neighbor had one. And again, we do live in a kind of a rural area. It's funny when people call and they see something about this and they're like, I've never even seen a three-wheeler before. Like, well, you know, I don't know where you're from. Most of the time they're from a city or something, so they never did. But even back then, I had buddies growing up, coming through middle school, high school. When they came to our house, they'd never seen such a thing. A lot of times they wanted to come over and ride, and sometimes we were in trouble when we couldn't ride. So anyway, while we're over here though, the Demons, there are still 2 Demons left, and I do have another Demon secured with a carbon edition, so if you guys are Demon freaks, reach out. Those 2 are excellent. They're actually, I looked on eBay, they are the 2 most affordable new, when I say new, they're 2023s, that's the last year they came, and they have under 20 miles, meaning they were only delivery miles. Those cars have never personally been driven down the road by us. They came off the car carrier from Chrysler to the man's building that I bought them from. When on the car carrier came to me, most all those cars have 12 to 15 under 20 miles. So the cheapest 2 that I know to exist, period.
Still gotta take Brian for a ride too.
Back up. And I do still take my brother Brian for a ride. So I will pick one of those, and I may end up keeping one of those. I have not made that decision yet, but they're cool cars, and they are going back up. At the height of things, those cars were bringing 100,000 over window sticker. Heard stories of more, I never saw it. I did personally see 100,000 over window stickers, so they are ticking back up. Currently, those cars are about 20,000 over window sticker, and they are the cheapest there is to be had, with no history, no story, clean titles. I have the titles in the folders to go with those cars, and they still have all of the factory package stuff on them. We talked a little bit about this square body, and we'll get into the video about the gold and tan square body very shortly. I did a clip on it yesterday, but we were so scattered because I had James, my customer, show up that I'd never met. We had the viral video. The phone was dinging so fast in AJ's hand, he couldn't even concentrate on all the messages. We're getting that one cleaned up and starting its prep process. But this one here is going to be probably one of the favorited 3+3 30 series K30 factory 4x4 trucks that we've had, as far as being rust-free and extremely original. Getting ready to finish up the headliner. You hear us say headliner a whole lot. My headliner guy's just been running behind. We try to do the headliners, and they are time-consuming, expensive, and frustrating to deal with. But this one still has to have the headliner taken care of. But this truck's all original. As far as we know, it's all original paint. It does have a few spots that look like the roof had been touched up, maybe. Supposedly this was a West Coast truck its whole life, according to the title, that's true, with a camper in the back. So basically it was used for hauling the camper around. It has rear airbag springs. We have not undercoated, we have not cleaned, we've not done anything under this truck because we wanted you guys to see it raw and original, and there is a full video on this truck if you scroll back, what, 3 or 4 days? Maybe right, a week.
Yeah,
I think I did
a week.
I did on Friday when it was going into the service shop for the weekend. The oil's been changed, inspection's been done, all the safety checkovers been done. We did pull the running boards off. We did put the new trim on it. Headliner guys will take care of the headliner. I think we did a battery, a starter.
AC does work very well in this one.
AC does work very well. AJ is reminding, trust me, my guys know what AC works in and what doesn't this week because they don't even want to move one from here to there without the AC working. This truck has not a speck of rust in it. It has normal undercarriage. I'll be very clear once again. It has normal undercarriage surface rust. There's zero rot. And when Alvin cleans under this truck, you could literally just wipe the frame with your hand and rub white pants. I mean, that's just how clean it's going to be. It does have typical moisture from motor, transmission, wetness underneath, but sat on the asphalt all night and I see one little bitty drip up front. So that's not so bad. The shop did a couple other things I can't remember. We were going to take off this front brush bar, but I did actually have a few customers early on that saw this truck when it arrived. This is an actual real push bar. This is not some dinky little thin for looks. You could hit a mule or a deer or a cow. It might bend it a little bit, but it's not going to crush your fender. So this is not for looks. This is for practicality. It actually has a nice little front receiver, which goes to the frame, so you can run a front winch on there. You could run a clevis. You could put your boat in and out of the water backwards if you can't back up good. But a really cool double headlight. A lot of Scottsdales would have been a single headlight in the front. But this truck does have the Silverado style front end. You could put Silverado emblems on it if you wanted to, but it does have the regular inside interior. We got dome light work and a bunch of light bulbs and wiring cleaned up. We left the dual-matic selectable hubs in there. We engaged and disengaged the four-wheel drive. We had to grease the shifter. A few other little knick-knacky things. So if you guys are looking, this is not on the website yet because we're just not going to have time to get it on the website before the weekend. But this truck is available. It's processed at this point, other than cleaning and headliner, it's a blank canvas. Daniel said, let's do the 1.0 package, but the crew cabs don't look good on the 1.0. They look good on the 2.0. They need that stocky 39-inch tire, wide wheel. So I don't know that we will do anything to the truck other than leave it alone, but we do have a couple ideas. And of course, if a customer wants to do something on their own, you guys know we'd love to do it. A couple inches in 35s would look amazing. Depends on how you're going to use the truck. A video debuted, if you guys do not watch his channel, of the two kit car Lamborghinis. Those are not real Lamborghinis. They look like real Lamborghinis. Everybody thinks we have real Lamborghinis, but East Coast Garage. He came out and did a couple filmings with us, and one of them was of those cars. We did have a little breakdown. Life is reality. We had a coil go bad on one. AJ and Christian were in them, and coil went bad. So they were down in our little filming area trying to get it to start. We had to tow it back up here, got it in the building, got it going again. Nobody even knew where to put gas in the cars at. It's kind of crazy, but if you want to look like $1 million for 40 grand or whatever those things are priced at, you can do it. If you've got a museum or if you've got a restaurant, or even if you wanted to put it on top of a building. In fact, one would look sweet on top of our building. Those cars are going for anywhere from $400,000 to $1 million in real life for that exact replica of that car. So, depends on what you're into, but that's kind of neat. So I was going to finish up this red truck. We'll get a couple of these things shoved out. We've got some cleaning to do on these. We've got some trucks to load that are shipping out. We've got some trucks to unload that have just arrived. We've got some rental trucks to check in and get back rented out on the tow trucks. And I think both of our rental trailers are back, so currently we're good on those. Those will also be processed today. Thanks guys for watching. Thanks for all the support. Hang tight. We're going to clip some more in here. All right, so AJ said go ahead and make a little bit more of an updated post about this truck. And we have customers that come in from all over. We have people that come by. I told you guys we have some special needs people that stop by once a week just to look in the showroom. We accommodate everybody with open arms. We had a customer and he had some very strange requests. He called, he said he'd like to come by, he was interested in this truck. This truck met all the things that he needed. You didn't get that?
No.
And he said he was definitely very interested in the truck. I said, come on by. Well, he came by, he brought his kids. He was on one of the hot days, and his wife. And he said, I want to check this truck over from head to toe. And I don't know if he thought I was going to stand there with him or whatever. I said, but have fun, no problem. I mean, zero problem. It was in the building. I said, there's a creeper. There's anything that you need. I want to check the airbags. I want to climb under it. I want to take the mat out of the bed. I said, it's not a problem. I said, my guys will be coming through here all day. If you need something, yell at them. I got to go over to the office. Literally that day, I think we had 4 transporters here loading up trucks. I had 4 customers from out of state in here looking at vehicles. It was kind of a typical day, maybe a little busier than normal. So, he might have been a little offended that I couldn't just stand there with him, but, it's not how we do things. So at some point, AJ walked over, some point Mike walked over, some point Christian walked over. Everybody walked through the building at the point he was here, but, he didn't need any help. Finally, he asked AJ to help check the 4x4, so they checked it. It was stubborn going in and out of 4x4, so that was one problem. But he said, yeah, I want to make a list. I do want the truck. I said, not a problem. He said, I got another request. I don't know how the paint's going to look. I was like, I don't know either. It's a little dusty and dingy. It's freaking 40 plus years old. I said, we're going to either wash it and sell it, or, well, that's pretty much all we're going to do, because I'm not going to paint it, and I'm not going to spend the time to buff it, because we don't really do buffing. I'm not going to outsource to a detail shop, because look at the truck. It's freaking great. He said, I brought some spray wax. Can I spray wax it? Yeah, help yourself. So him and his wife were spray waxing the truck. Well, great. It was one less thing we had to do. It actually did come out pretty good. He said, I'm just really concerned, if I spend the money for this truck, what it's going to look like. I said, no problem. He said, but I do want to make a list. I said, that's also not a problem. I said, but sir, I want you to understand, you're looking at this truck within hours of me getting it. And I stuck my own literal foot in my mouth by even mentioning this truck. But here's how it went down. You may have seen this in the other video. Customer call said, I'd really like a crew cab, but I don't want it lifted like y'all's crazy trucks. Can I get on a list if something comes in? I said, sure. So he starts telling me, I want a crew cab. I want a long bed. I want it bone stock and original. And I want dark color. So I said, man, I got kind of what you're looking for. Not sure what your budget's going to be or where you want to be, but this truck is rust-free, West Coast. It is arriving today. Of course, he showed up the next day, basically, if I remember correctly. I said, I'm not going to get it online. We're not going to have time to process it. I said, we're currently running weeks and weeks behind. I said, but I know it's going to need a few things done to it, trim and other things. So he immediately started asking for pictures. I said, as soon as it gets here, we'll do that. It got here. We got him some pictures. He asked for more. Anyway, he ended up showing up. Nothing better than being here in person. I think he was from West Virginia or somewhere around that area. So I'll again explain, look, the dome light doesn't work. Other things I know are a problem currently. Here's our plan, is to get it through service, get it through inspection, then we may do other things with it. So let me make a list. So here's his list. And basically, AJ chuckled afterwards because these are all things we would have fixed anyway. AJ's laughing. By the time it went through Dave, my Uncle David, those are 2 separate people, the service shop, the off-road shop, the few little things that I sometimes do, the things that Christian, AJ, Mike, just simple little things along our process would have already done. So he's like, it's a long list, Jay. I said, it's fine, just give me the list. So I gave him paper, I gave him pen, and here's what he did. So it's an 84 K33 plus 3. He even put the VIN number just to make sure. Cigarette lighter doesn't work. That turned out to be a fuse. It had a backup light out. It was 1156 bulb. The oil gauge didn't work. That was a bad connection, but we did end up replacing the sender. Hazard light switch we had to order. That's pushed up into there, so I think the plastic's broken on it. The grill needed a screw. The dome light needed a bulb. The hood needed to be adjusted. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day, but it was just slightly out of adjustment. Long story to that, involving the customer. he had some trailer mirrors he brought with him in a box. And I looked at them, they're really nice. They were OE, factory GM, huge tow mirrors in white. So I said, sure, we can install those if we make the deal. Remove the running boards. So I wasn't going to remove those, but this list got laid in the truck and it went to the shop. So of course we did what the list said. We removed the running boards. Customer will take them home. He wanted to keep them. He was also asking us to do one of our 40-gallon rear-mounted tanks. We do that a lot of times for the power steps. This guy wanted to do it, and here's a cool part. If you guys don't know, these trucks have saddle tanks. If somebody creams this truck in the side in an accident, the saddle tanks were known to blow up and explode. There was a safety recall. They didn't really recall anything. They just gave the customers money. How do I know that? My grandfather had a truck that I guess he bought new in the 80s when that was going on, and I think he received a small check. Basically, that was their recall back then. But he wanted that, and I said, you know, we can do it. We do it all the time. And then he wanted the rear tail light opening, which is also not a problem. And the reason I'm going over all this is not at all to make fun of the customer, because, you know, he was a particular person. We gave him the whole day with it. I want y'all to understand, we don't care. We will do anything. If this list was not just trivial things, we still can do it. It costs, you know, it's not free. It's not just a la carte. Nothing on this list cost a dime, though. You know, this was all part of what we were going to do anyway, other than the tank. But he had a legitimate want for that tank, and maybe some of you guys, others want that too for safety. So the tank that we put in goes under and inside the frame rail. You fill it from the right-hand side. Again, if you have not noticed or seen that before, you can go back on our other videos and see it. Brian spends a ton of time installing that gas door flap. Some of it's kind of body shop related. Some of it's sheet metal work, and some of it's mechanical, because then he has to plumb it, he has to wire it, and then we got to redo the fuel lines. So it's more than just throwing a tank under the truck. But we said we'd do it. It's no problem. We gave him the cost of that. The horn doesn't work. That turned out to be, I guess, the same fuse as the cigarette lighter, possibly, but it was also a fuse. And the four-wheel drive shifter linkage got stuck and needed to be taken apart and greased. That was it. It was actually pretty much the same thing we would have done anyway, but the customer was just here too fast. So we also, while we're at it, we do a Virginia inspection on all vehicles that leave. Now, sometimes a truck like this, but a much rougher version of this, we may sell as is, and the case may be that it may need brakes and steering bushings and some other things that are going to be lift kit related. So we'll just kick it to the side. If time permits, we'll lift it. Chances are in the meantime it will sell. Now if a customer says, can you do the bushings, can you do the brakes? Absolutely, it's no problem. But I can't sell it for 10 and then spend $2,000 on repairing it. It's got to be 12. So we try to give the option of some cheaper trucks. A lot of times it gives some frustration because the office gets the phone call, then the questions come. So again, that's why a lot of the fielding of calls comes to me on the square bodies. But this is what gets checked for a Virginia safety inspection. You can see that was done, where's the date? A few days ago. And it's good. Official inspection on the windshield. And again, oil got changed on top of that. The fluids got topped off and checked. I'm gonna flip this one here because Alan's getting ready to pressure wash. I don't want the background noise, but AJ made me do it. So that's your little clip about that. All right, we're back to the brown and tan truck here. We're going to get through it this time.
Got two stuff.
Yeah, needs a little extra fuel cleaner in that ride. This truck is $85,995. I've had a lot of interest in this truck right off the bat. It is a truck that probably should be over the $100,000 mark. If it was at any of the high-end auctions, it would be there. But right now, we have a lot of trucks finishing up. We have a lot of trucks in stock. And I wanted to point one thing out, that's why I left this door open. I want to go over the negatives to this truck before we get into the super positives. It does need the retractor covers on both sides. You can find those, but you got to search for them. Sometimes you got to get them and dye them. But you can see the attention to detail, the striker, the door panel stuff. Did we do the video? We did the video. That's part of the clipped out video, isn't it? With the window racing? Yeah. All right, so. That's the one that's like 13. All right. So we did a video yesterday, but we got way off topic, and I don't want to bore you guys. But Look at the windows on this truck. Most of the time, if you roll your windows up on a square body a couple times, that window motor is going to overheat, fatigue, and be absolutely done for. I told AJ yesterday, we were in a good joking mood. I said, and you watch the locks, boop, 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 just like they're supposed to. I said, we ought to have some races for windows. Y'all pull up with your square body, let's have a window race, because square body windows don't work that good. When my uncle goes over these trucks and greases and lubes and adjusts things, that is a perfected combination right there. Those things are just like they're supposed to be. You can go do it a dozen more times. They both work like butter. Door panels are finished off. While we're looking at the door panels, well, on this side, same way, the retractor cover. But look at the fit and finish in the door jambs, the bottoms of the doors. This was a fully disassembled truck. It does have a small crack right here on the door panel. The dash is awesome. It's a tack truck, and the tack works. I have not tried the cruise control, but it is a cruise control truck. It's an air-conditioned truck, and it does have an aftermarket Error Correct radio with equalizer. The big floor mats, these are not ripped off. These are very easy to break. If you start shoving stuff in there, they come all to pieces. Racetrack trim's in great shape. And you do have one little scuff spot right here that may buff off. That's some compound right there. Or something. But a little scuff spot right there that probably could be buffed a little bit. The emblems are nice and bright. The sun's not out as good as it is today, so hopefully you can see in another video. This root beer brown, Cordova brown, it jumps. Under the hood's finished nice. The sticker, the finish on the motor, air conditioned, power steering, power brakes, cruise. They even took the time to detail the hood hinges. We put a fresh battery in it. We've driven this truck. Even got the felt. Good catch, AJ. The back of the firewall, extremely freaking clean. It's just a well put together truck. It was, and again, this truck was framed off. When you look underneath, you can see even the attention to detail, brand new yoke on the rear differential and the front differential. 6-inch lift kit, inner fender wells, super clean, 14-inch wide welds, 33-inch Fun Country mud terrains. You could definitely go with a 35 or even a 37 as long as it was super duper skinny. The rear, same way. You can see the yoke there. The exhaust is run with some Chevelle style tips, Blazer style bumper, stainless across here without the emblem. Spray and bed liner in the back. We do have some parts for another truck back here because we've been running around with this truck doing a little driving. And damn sure can't catch the color as good today as you could the other day, but bright. Like that root beer brand with metallic is bright. The dual tanks, if you look at it, yeah, you can see it right there. Both tanks have been replaced. Seems like the sending units do work properly. They could fail at any point, of course. You look in the fender well right here, you can see the steering box is nicely detailed. Now this truck would be a great candidate for the crossover steering and track bar and power steps and other things, but like I said, guys, sometimes you have to stop. I can't just keep going because this truck would far exceed over the 100K mark. Not everybody wants to spend that. Not everybody wants to tell their wife they spent 100 grand on a truck. Not that 86 is that much far off of that, but this truck was great the way it is. You can still jump in and out of it. I do also like that it's got the bucket seats with console. And again, this is not a original truck. This is a restored truck. So some things may not be perfect. Some things may be newer than older. There's some things with it that are not as much as one that has not left the barn since 1980. We do have to finish the headliner because it's sagging as normal. We've already done the LED dome light. The dome light works like it's supposed to. Doors close great. Again, this one is on its finishing side of things. Brian and Daniel gave it a 100% 5 stars for going underneath of it. That's usually where we see the problems. So when the restoration was done on this truck, kudos. They did a great job. We did not have a 100-point checklist of problems like we find on a lot of trucks. It starts, it runs. We might as well fire it up while we're doing this video. It idles, it does everything it's supposed to do. When they rebuilt and redid all the dash, they also set the odometer to the motor, drivetrain, and rebuild of the truck. So 156 miles since completed. I'm gonna hold that, I'll hit the gas a little bit. Voltage gauge works, oil pressure gauge works. Again, we'll give a double check on the fuel gauges because we are super common for not having much fuel in anything around here, but with 500 vehicles to keep fuel in, that's not uncommon. Raymond just pulled up. I don't know if y'all saw him in the background. He just made a trip to Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri, in a basically, and I'll tell you how things go, in a basically brand new tow truck, delivering it to a customer that is a high-end car collector from California. He was traveling from California to Missouri to one of his buildings there, and that's where Raymond met him. I get a call from Raymond about 5 hours before he should be at the destination. I'm like, that's never a good sign, ever. Because he doesn't call and bug me at all. He always gets the job done. Everybody here knows the less times they got to call me, the better, because my phone doesn't stop ringing. But if there's a problem, you got to call. And there was a problem. This truck that was basically brand spanking new, as nice as it could be, a piece of the fan belt, fan blade, the plastic fan blade broke off and shot up through the fan shroud. Knocked off the coolant jug tube, so he started seeing some antifreeze and odor and a light on the dash. The truck didn't overheat, it just the reservoir got low because it knocked it off. And he heard a little bit of noise. Look what just pulled up. Surprise, surprise. Yet another one. A little good news in this bad news story. So unfortunately, the fan shroud had to be replaced. The fan had to be replaced. No catastrophe, we had to put a little antifreeze in it, but it did get all over the freshly detailed truck because it sprayed all underneath the truck. Sucks. Not an inexpensive repair. I had to fix it. It was not the customer's fault. Now, we did promise we would deliver it because tow trucks are very hard to transport. It should have gone on a low boy. It probably would have cost the man about $3 grand. Well, it ended up costing me more than $3 grand as a courtesy because I have Raymond's time, I have fuel, and now I have a repair bill. But we had the international dealer do it. The man got his truck very timely. He got it about 8 hours later than he would have got it originally. But the international dealer was great to work with. I cannot say that very often. They got the truck right in. They located the parts. Raymond had a little bit extra downtime to relax and rest. And we got back on the road. Customer got the truck and he loves it. Matter of fact, he says he's sending another customer from his area because the transaction was so perfect. We did call him and we were honest with him. We told him what happened. So look, we could have made an excuse up like Raymond got a late start, anything, but told Mike, I said, just tell him. And Mike was like, good, that's what I want to tell him. And he said, hey, sir, this is what happened. And we don't know what happened. I think the fan was just faulty. I think it just was broke. International probably should have covered it under warranty, but you know, they would have probably said we hit something on the road. You just never know how those things will go. So we didn't want to get into a long drawn out problem. We fixed it. He's back on the road. But again, here guys, and there is one other little spot right here. AJ's close up on that little scuff / paint imperfection right there. Those are the only spots on this truck that I have noticed. And one little spot here, which we covered up easily with a door edge guard or some touch-up paint. But going around a truck of this size and having such few imperfections is pretty amazing. Locking front hubs, super clean differentials. Truck was definitely stripped and cleaned up when it was taken apart. This is a good turnkey truck. I would say today's time, if you dropped off a truck even if you bought a basket case truck like this that was not a rust bucket, which you can tell this was not a rust bucket, floor pans are great, everything's good, you're going to pay 20 to 25 grand for a donor. And if you drop it off at a restoration shop, a true restoration shop, not a buddy, not a friend in his backyard, somebody that does this for a living and charges what it costs per hour, you would spend total between your truck and the restoration $150,000. So say 120 to 130 at the restoration shop. That would be mechanical, paint, interior, yada yada yada, and then your cost of your truck. So and how can I say that? Because we've just recently seen the paperwork on one that was done at a restoration shop. It took 5 years of time, and not to mention frustration and headache, and it was well over $100,000 for his bill. So a turnkey truck for far less, a beautiful truck at that, dressed out as a square headlight 80, which is the most rare front end combination there is. And I can't say much else, guys. You got a good one here. So we'll keep clipping it. I've got to get Raymond straight. He's getting ready to get on the road and deliver some stuff. We got another customer rolling up. Got the lady here doing a GPS install for a lender that requires a GPS on their truck. So going in a tractor trailer we're selling. So we're getting that taken care of. We'll clip a few more things to you. All right, not sure where this clip's going to fall in on our video today or a fresh video, but introducing Trista, my oldest daughter, 16 years old, driving, and seems like yesterday she was 1 year old, riding on a go-kart with me for her first birthday. But she's grown up. This year she is really dedicated. Last year she was more into just watching things go by and dilly-dallying, but this year she's buckled down in the office. What are you handling?
Everything.
Everything. She's doing it all.
No.
So she's doing a lot of stuff that my mom does, some bookkeeping, working on some stuff for the off-road shop, uploads of vehicles when Christian's out. She fills in on the day he's not here. She is going to be a senior this year at her school, and up and coming full-time for after that happens. What other things are you doing on a day-to-day?
I don't know.
She's a little camera shy. We'll get her past that. She is doing some of the video uploads. She's doing a little bit of the editing. She worked on a new outro. If you guys are noticing that some of the videos have that outro, and what else? The subscribe and click and all the stuff we should probably put in every video, but we rush and don't. She's doing a lot of comment responses, so she's handling that. She's taking care of some of the descriptions in the videos themselves. You doing more than that? What else?
I don't.
Keeping track of three-wheelers?
Oh my God, we don't need any more.
This is where that comes from, guys. We don't need any more.
How many do you have?
Is there
How
ever
many do you have?
We're not going to speak of numbers. We're not going to speak of numbers. You don't put numbers on things. It's more of a
addiction.
Well, I haven't ever seen a three-wheeler anonymous, but there maybe should be one, because we're going to visit a guy this weekend that probably should go with that as well. But overall, how you liking things?
It's going pretty good.
Going pretty good. Going pretty good. She's looking for that future, where do I fit in at Davis Auto Sales? So we're trying to put that groove in there to see where she fits in. And she's doing a good job of understanding everything. Being part of the video, she's out on the lot. She's usually in the office, so she's seeing the different vehicles. She's learning. She's putting the window stickers on, learning the different sizes, styles, some of the lingo that goes along with some of the things that we have to deal with on the day-to-day. You did miss out. Oh, while we're out here, yesterday we did a video, but we didn't post it because they said it wasn't as politically correct as possible. So we'll just leave it at that. I did a little clip, but we had a transporter that was literally parked right here loading. And yeah, literally right here, right here. Truck and trailer, one trailer, one truck on the trailer. So we get him the truck, we get him up behind there, we sign his paperwork, he signs our paperwork, we're good. And this was one of 4 to leave out, I think, yesterday, or 3. So, and all of them happen to be single car carriers, which is kind of unique. But he ended up going that way. We don't have an exit that way. We have one right here. The one and only exit that we have. So he saw that a truck, we had just sold a truck right where that tan dually is. So he turns and tries to go out that way, over top of our parking curbs. That we have everywhere, which, by the way, somebody has hit that one also. And got wedged up. Not only was he wedged up on the parking curb, he was wedged up because the trailer was back here getting ready to clip a vehicle. And he got so jackknifed he couldn't get back out until we moved some of those vehicles. So you guys seem to enjoy our transportation thing, so that's a little update on transportation. We didn't have anybody parking the no parking because we had 2 monster trucks there. We I think that scared them away a little bit from pulling in the wrong spot. Ooh, I think he's here to pick up the F-150. Pretty positive. So we do have a customer picking up the silver F-150. Did Trista get the paperwork ready?
No.
No, okay. So we got to get the paperwork ready for that. And then we'll go look at some new 3-wheelers that have arrived. We do have a load of palm trees coming. Trista's boyfriend also works here, Calvin. And he's been very on top of ground maintenance. He has got this place looking better than it has ever looked. Mulch, cleaning, grass. Hadn't really got him into the vehicle arrangement stuff yet, but he's basically been bombarded just keeping care of all the properties and surrounding properties, getting all that done. But he is coming back with another load of palm trees because even though those over there look like they might survive,
the middle one looks like it's turning around.
Yeah, so we're a little scared that it may not make a full recovery. So I like things looking as good as possible. So we're going to transplant those to another area. We're going to freshly plant the new palms, and hopefully they do as good as the ones me and AJ did. Maybe me and you should just do it on our own. No help. Maybe it was the help. We've done it once, we can do it again. So he's coming back with some more palm trees. Put the picture in here. He's thumbs up. That's Calvin. Calvin in the video, thumbs up. So I'll give you that picture. Drop that in right here. We got to go get that. Yeah, that is it. He bought that truck from us. Yep. So that's him for the F-150. Doing a little F-150 upgrade. All right, let's get some paperwork done. Make another happy customer.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. We had to go handle some business real quick with the customer. We appreciate everyone for watching, staying tuned in with us. Please like and subscribe on all of our socials, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.